Hello friends, Jai Shri Ram. So today's topic is how do you prepare for PI planning meeting. So as you know, the PI planning meeting is going to be of 2 days, but to prepare for it, you need to prepare the backlog in such a way that everything is ready. At the same time, you should also prepare for location. You should book the room and this and that. You should do that. Plus, your team should be in a proper structure. Then and only then a PI planning meeting can take place. So how do you prepare for a PI planning meeting? That is also called as PI planning readiness. This video is about that. So PI planning preparation or PI planning readiness consists of 3 things: organizational readiness, context readiness, and logistical readiness. Okay, so organizational readiness talks about how your team is organized, how your business is organized, and then how is the backlog organized. Okay, so organization of all these 3 things is the organizational readiness. Context readiness talks about whether the backlog is properly prioritized, what is the scope that we are going to cover in this PI planning meeting, is that properly organized, properly ranked, everything is done or not, and is the architecture also clear about it. And the third thing is logistical readiness. There's a thing that I told you in the beginning that you should book the conference room, you should have proper if there are dislocated or geographically diverse teams, then you should have some communication channel, like let us say Zoom or MS Teams, or nowadays GeoMeet as well. So there should be something, some communication channel for you to communicate, and then there should be proper internet, rest of the things. Okay, so you should be able to have that logistical readiness also. So that is the third thing, logistical readiness. So I'll go through them one by one. Let us deep dive into organizational readiness. Okay, organizational readiness consists of 3 things. One is planning, scope, and context. Next is business alignment, and next is agile teams must be in place. Okay, so planning, scope, and context means what? That whenever we go for a PI planning, normally there is 2-3 big things that we are going to do. So these 2-3 big things are normally the capabilities. Now I told you earlier that backlog in SAFe is arranged in terms of epics. Epics are broken down into capabilities are broken down into features, and features are broken down into stories. Okay, epics are at the portfolio level, capabilities are at the large solution level, features are at the PI level. That means the planning that we are going to do, that is for the PI, right? So we are actually planning the features, and then at the team level you have the stories. Now if you are planning for the features, then why do you want to plan for the capabilities? For the obvious reason that features are grouped into capabilities, or capabilities are broken down into features. So normally in a PI, we cover 2 or 3 capabilities, and they in all cover almost 10 features. So let us say the first capability must be covering 5 features, next 3 features, next 2 features. Okay, so these 3 capabilities will first be discussed, and then we will discuss the individual features into them. So those 5 features, 3 features, 2 features, that we'll discuss later. And then those 10 features, we will be committing to completing those 10 features as an art, as an agile release train. Okay, and that is what is PI planning. And that is why first of all your scope and context should be clear. So what is the scope and context? So which capabilities are we considering in the PI? We'll pick a few, say 10 features from those few capabilities. Let us say there are 3 capabilities, and in all the features inside these 3 capabilities, there are 10 capabilities, 10 features, let us say. Okay, and so in the end we commit to completing those 10 features. Of course at the PI level we are talking of features only, but before getting to features we talk about the capabilities. Okay, now what is business alignment? Business alignment is that all the POs in all the teams within your art should be on the same page. They should all agree upon what? Upon 2 things. First is the acceptance criteria of each of these 10 features. Okay, second is the mutual ranking of the features. See, if I'm a PO of team 1 and there is somebody else who is the PO of team 2, then I and he should feel the same way, that these features should be ranked in this way. Suppose I feel that feature ranked at rank number 5 is more important than the feature ranked at let us say rank number 4, then I should first mutually discuss amongst all the POs of all the teams. Let us say there are 5 teams in my art, then I should speak to them, and then we should amicably come up with one ranking. This is very critical, because if you are going in a PI planning meeting, there you don't have time to argue and discuss and this and that. You have to do all these things during your PO sync meetings, which happen every week. Okay, so you should be ready with the correct ranking. All of you should be on the same page. All the POs of all the teams in the art should be on the same page. Otherwise, this meeting is going to be a disaster. Okay, so that is business alignment. And of course, the overall story points, or overall, even if the story points are not clear, it's okay. In the PI planning meeting also you can discuss it a bit, but mostly the story points are clear by then. Okay, and these are ballpark figures, of course. And the most important thing is, what is the acceptance criteria? If I say feature 1 should be doing this, then what exactly is that thing that feature should be doing? I should be extremely clear about it, and not just me, but all the other 4 POs in my art should also be on the same page. They should also feel the same way. Okay, so that is your business alignment. Your business, that means your product owners should be on the same page. Third thing is, agile teams must be in place. So that means your team, your art should not be of 50 to 150 people. Just okay, there are 100 people in your art. No, that is not the way it should be. It should be broken down into, let us say, 5 teams. Each team should be having, let us say, 11 members. This kind of a structure should be there. An art cannot be just an unorganized group of people. No, an art always consists of smaller teams, and the team size is usually 8 plus minus 3 people, which means 5 to 11 people. Okay, 8 minus 3 is 5, 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, so it's an easy way to remember. It's also an easy way because, you know, in basic agile, you have 7 plus minus 2 people. So I have added 1 to 7 as well as 2. So it is 8 plus minus 3 people in safe. It's my way of remembering, because see, in basic agile, you have 5 to 9 people, and here in safe, you have 8 to 11 people. So how do you remember that? So 7 plus minus 2, 8 plus minus 3. Okay, so this is how you remember. Now the agile team should be in place. Then and only then you can have those team breakout sessions, and then you can have draft plan review and final plan review. How will you do that? If the teams are not divided yet, it's impossible to get into a planning meeting, right? So you have to break down the art into various teams first, and then you can go for a planning meeting for the PI planning meeting. Okay, so this is organizational readiness. So basically your scope and context, your business alignment, and your agile team should be in place. This thing is called as organizational readiness. Now let us dive into another form of readiness, which is called as context readiness. What is context readiness? Your your backlog and your architectural runway, it should be clearly defined. Okay, I'll come to that. See, first of all, in the PI planning meeting itself, the first 3 things that happen is, there is a 1-hour meeting called as executive briefing. Then there is a 1.5-hour meeting which is called as product vision briefing. And then there is another 1-hour meeting which is called as architecture vision briefing. So your executive briefing is given by your business owner. Who is your business owner? See, I told you earlier, at the agile team level, you have a product owner, right? So similarly, at the art level, 1 level above, you have program manager, who is the junior of business owner. Business owner is even more senior than program manager. Okay, so that business owner is going to conduct an executive briefing. In this executive briefing, he will explain those 3 capabilities that we are most probably picking up in this PI planning meeting. Okay, so he talks at the capability level. Okay, then product vision briefing is given by his junior, who is program manager. Okay, and program manager talks about all the 10 features inside these 3 capabilities. I told you, first capability has 5 features, second capability has 3 features, third one has 2 features. Okay, so these 10 features in all, they will be explained by your program manager, and that is called as product vision briefing. Now he has to explain a lot more because there are 10 features to cover, and that is why his meeting is a bit longer, and that longer meeting is of 1.5 hours. And then it is followed by architecture vision briefing. Some people also call it as architectural vision briefing. It's up to you how you want to call it. Now this is given by your system architect. Who is your system architect? See, at the team level, I told you now there is development team. At the art level, there is an architect to guide all these small agile teams, right? And that is called as a system engineer or system architect. Okay. Now that system engineer or system architect will give another briefing. Briefing means KT kind of a thing. Okay. Now what will he say? He will mostly talk about the architectural runway. What is an architectural runway? Architectural runway, guys, is basically how the product should be. See, in basic agile, we used to say that you develop the product as it develops over the time. Okay. We did not have concrete structure that, basically the product should always be having this kind of process APIs. They should be calling the service APIs. Service APIs should be having some core service APIs which will never touch. They are very core to the business. That is called as architectural runway. We never had it in basic agile. And that is why, that basic agile model could not be scaled up, because, if you have multiple teams working on the same product, then all of them will be working on different lines. All of them will be working on, okay, I think there should be this kind of a microservice architecture. Some other team will say, okay, why go for microservice architecture? Let's have one service only. Let us have different calls into the same service. Let us have different endpoints on the same service. Same API will be having different endpoints. That is also okay. All the teams will think differently. So how will you scale up? Now here in SAFe, you have, let us say, 50 teams working together. Okay, divided into various arts. Every art is divided into various teams. How are you going to do that? Everybody thinks in his own direction, then that product cannot come alive, right? Product will be very haphazard. It won't be possible. So to bring synergy across all these teams, what you do is you have an architectural runway. You say that, see, the feature given to you, you develop it the way you like. Okay. But basic development architecture is like this, that we are following a microfiber architecture, a microservices architecture, and every service will be a separate repo in the Git. And that is your microservice architecture. Okay, they'll always be independently deployable, everything. Okay. Second thing that we'll say is, okay, basically the UI will call process APIs. We'll call them PAPIs. Okay. These process APIs in turn will be using service APIs, which will be called SAPIs. Okay. Service APIs we will not touch much. We will touch only the process APIs as far as possible. And then even out of the SAPIs, there will be some core SAPIs, that means core service APIs, which we will never touch. Or if we are going to touch, then some architecture level person will make modifications into them because they are very core to the business. Otherwise, my business can get affected. I am not going to touch them ever. Okay, unless it is very highly required and an architectural level person will touch them. Rest of the developers, the lead level people will never touch. Okay. This is what? This is my architectural runway. That should be very clear. So now architectural vision briefing is what? That system engineer will now explain how will you implement these 10 features. You will implement it using this kind of you will implement keeping in mind this particular architectural runway. Okay. That is what this gentleman is going to explain. So that is your architectural vision briefing. So all these 3 briefings actually happen at the beginning of the planning meeting, before the PI planning begins, or maybe you can consider it as a part of the PI planning, because this basically takes up the time from 8 a.m. to I think 11:30 a.m. So that is why you can consider this as a part of the PI planning. Otherwise, you can say, okay, this has happened before the PI planning, whatever you want to consider. So that is called as context readiness. Okay, so all these 3 gentlemen should be ready with their speeches on that day. I'm using very layman's language. Okay, don't use this kind of a language in the interview. Don't say speeches, you say briefing. Don't say that BO is the boss of PM. No. PM works under the guidance of BO, or BO works with the help of PM. Use this kind of nice language for the interview. Okay, but just to make you understand clearly, I'm using clear pointed language. Okay. Now the third kind of readiness is called as logistical readiness. Some people also call this that, actually in material it is called as logistics readiness. So okay, you call it whatever you like, you will still get the marks, don't worry. Now it consists of three things. Firstly, your art consists of a lot of people. Let us say your art consists of 100 people. Okay, now how will those 100 people sit together for a meeting? You need to, and even teams are geographically diverse teams. So let us say we have two teams in Pune, one team in Bangalore, one team in Hyderabad, another team in the US, another in UK, let us say. So all these teams, how will they synchronize? So first of all, they have to, their own scrum masters will have to book the room on that particular day, keeping in line the international time, okay, and keeping in time the daylight savings and everything. So every scrum master has to book the conference room for those teams for 2 days, okay, for their respective teams, and that too at the same time. That is called as location readiness. Second is technology and tooling. Even if the conference rooms are booked, they have to be onto some call, right? There should be a Zoom call, or there should be an MS Teams video call, okay? So video calling mechanism should be in place, right? That is called as your technology and tooling. So your technology and tooling should be there. That means this kind of video calling should be properly available. Second thing is that for confidence voting also we use some software. See, confidence voting means whether you have confidence onto this plan or not. So whatever is decided, final draft, final plan view, final plan review. So whatever is the final plan that is that comes out, a voting is taken across all these 100 people in the art. Okay, that okay, all of you tell me out of 5, how much will you rate this plan? If I say 5, then I am 100% sure that this plan is going to work. If I say 1, that means I am not at all sure that it is going to work. I am very doubtful that it is going to work. This way, the voting, overall average voting should come above 3. Then and only then your planning is successful. Otherwise, you go for a replanning. Okay, so that is why there should be a mechanism. Now, how can I ask all the people to raise their hands and then all the scrum masters should count the number of hands up? It is not possible. It is very time consuming. This confidence voting will only take you one hour then, if it happens like that. Otherwise, you can have a nice tool for doing confidence voting. So normally what I use is this Slido. In the Slido you can post a poll, and all the people in the art are asked to appear for the poll, and of course still some people don't find it easy to use the Slido, and some people are not able to vote, but ideally they should be. All of the Slido is a very easy technology, you should be able to use it. But still, even if some votes are not given, then also out of the votes given, what is the average? So if the average is above 3, then yeah, this thing passes, the plan passes, otherwise it doesn't pass. Okay, so there should be some technology for doing that as well, like Slido is that technology. So you need Zoom or MS Teams, and you need Slido. So this is called as technology and tooling. Third thing is communication channel. Now see, there is Zoom, there is MS Teams, there is Slido, but all of this works on internet, right? So all your offices should be connected with the broadband internet. This is very critical. This is what you don't have to do. Your office already provides these things, but still in the material they have mentioned this point, so I'm also mentioning this point, that communication channels. So first of all, your internet connection should be good. Then all of you should be able to connect using VPN, because there are different locations, but all of you work as if you are one team. So all of you connect to a virtual private network. That means it seems to be one network. Although I may be connected from my home, some team might be connected from the Pune office, some team might be connected from Hyderabad office, some team might be connected from London office, some team might be connected from, let's say, Chicago office. It's okay, all of us are connected to different locations, but from different locations, but we are all connected to one system, and that is called as virtual private network, and that should be provided by your organization. Okay, and then the first thing that I missed out is conveying about the meeting, booking everyone's calendar. So MS Outlook, I think MS Outlook comes into technology and tooling, by the way. But main thing is that everyone should agree on a time. That is also important. So that is a communication channel. Okay, so this is what is your logistical readiness. So I will summarize. For preparing for the PI planning or for PI planning readiness, there are three kinds of readinesses that you should have. One is organizational readiness. That means your planning scope and context. What are the three capabilities that is, and out of those three capabilities, how many features all of them have, and total 10 features should be there. That is planning scope and context. What is the scope upon which we are discussing? Second is all your POs should be on the same line with respect to your acceptance criteria of every feature and with respect to ranking of all these features. Third thing is your art should be divided into various agile teams. Now, second is context readiness. It consists of executive briefing given by your business owner, which talks about the capabilities. Then there is product vision briefing given by your product manager, and it is about the 10 features that we are picking up. And architectural vision briefing given by your system architect, also called as system engineer, which talks about how we are keeping into mind the architectural runway and how will we develop those 10 features keeping in mind the architectural runway. Okay. Then there is logistical readiness, which talks about location. So booking all the conference rooms of all the scrum masters of all the teams will book their conference rooms, respective conference room at respective locations. Second is technology and tooling. So Zoom, MS Teams, and Slido should be there. And then communication channels. That means all of them should be booking the room at the same time. All of them should have their calendars free at the same time. And then, having good internet connection, having a good VPN. Okay, that's it. So that was all about how you prepare for a PI planning meeting. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram from Amit Shirasao.